Good, good evening, listeners and viewers, and welcome to episode number 92 of the Co-op Podcast. Um, we have a small cast today as Gary Swaby is currently at Eurogamer, so he'll tell us about his experience next week. But for now, on the cast, we have Mr. Charles Singletary. How's it going, Charles?
Yo, 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 what's up, what's up? Glad to be here.
We also have Mr. Michael Lay. How's it going, Mike?
Wow, I forgot how my mic muted. How you guys doing, man? How's everyone doing out there in video game land?
We're all doing excellent, I'm assuming. But if we're still playing Destiny, maybe not. But, let's move on from that. So let's just jump right into what we all been playing. I'll go first and just say, of course, I've been playing Forza Horizon 2. My review is on the site right now. I just like to say anybody that has an Xbox One, they're a racing game fan, they must pick this game up immediately. Even if you're not a racing game fan, you should pick it up because it truly is, I would say, one of the best games on the platform right now. When I say one of the best exclusives, rather. So I pretty much been playing that for the most part. That's taking up most of my time. So how about you, Charles? What you been playing?
I've still been playing Destiny in Abundance because I am one of the few people that doesn't suck at the Crucible, so I've been owning people, and it's been amazing. Other than that, I've been playing The Fall. I'm going to start a game called It Moves, which was made on Game Jolt. It was based on a creepypasta, like a short horror story, so I'm going to check that out. October's coming up, so that's going to be interesting to do something. I might do something on the site for that one. Other than that, nothing. That is it. Like, Destiny has taken up a majority of my time. I still play it a good bit. I'm only level 24, 25 because I'm in the midst of moving, so it's hard to, get the time in. But, yeah, that's it.
Well, I'll just say this. You're a lot farther than me because I've been playing Forza so much, I haven't been playing Destiny, so I'm still at level 10. Maybe I'll get to 20 at some point, but obviously not today.
That's sad, man. That's sad.
Oh yes, it's very sad. That's okay. I'll step my game up soon. So, how about you, Mike? What you been playing?
Let me see. Well, I got FIFA. I went in on FIFA. I tried to get an Ultimate Team. It's not for me. I don't think I'll be doing an Ultimate Team in FIFA. It's just not balanced. Like, the people you play just have better players than you. And it seems like the game is still a little too dependent on speed. So that's the only rating that really matters. Because everyone else, you can knock them off the ball relatively easy, and it's really hard to get foul calls. So they can just get a fast player, run around everyone. Other than Forza, I've been playing Forza, getting ready for Horizon, obviously. I put a lot of time into Destiny because people were like, you can't. I heard a lot of people saying that it's not fair that I'm judging a game without putting ample time into it, especially for it being an RPG. So I was like, all right, you know what? Fair enough. I'll put the time into it. Got my character to a 28, 29. Don't want to play the game anymore. So there's that. Warframe, of course, just because that's my go-to. I didn't play it as much when I was playing Destiny just because I had to play Destiny or I couldn't speak on it. But no, I still got my time into Warframe. I'm working on my second Warframe, actually. And that's about it. Oh, I finally finished 100% Max the Curse of Brotherhood. That game is highly underrated. I don't know why everyone was talking about Child of Eden and all. No, go play Max Curse of the Brotherhood. That game is amazing. Anyone who says that the game has control issues, you must have one hand or something. That game worked flawlessly for me. That's about it.
I would just like to say I have to agree with that. I haven't finished that game yet, but I very much enjoyed when I was playing it. I didn't know people were complaining about it, but I find that to be very interesting.
I saw that in some reviews. Basically, they took off lots of points because they're saying the controls don't work well. I'm like, are you one-handed? Because this works fine for me. I don't get it.
Yeah, don't do it. Well, it's good. So we got a couple of topics we're going to go over. Well, it's quite a few. Some are big, some are not quite as big. Let's start with one of the main topics this week. Um, so basically, Rockstar leaked some information regarding the current gen versions of GTA 5. By current gen, meaning PS4 and Xbox One, that is set to come out next, in November. Basically, they announced that they're going to have a first-person view mode in which your character can go into first-person, view while walking down the street and while using different vehicles and such. Now, of course, after this information came out, they got rid of the page on their official Rockstar site because obviously it got published way too early. But, I was just curious to ask you guys, what do you think of these features ending up in this game? Because I'm still waiting for the heist, which I still know nothing about the heist when it's coming. But I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on this particular feature coming to GTA 5.
Want me to start that off, Mike? I guess that's a yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't care about Auto 5. When I beat it was fun. It was fun. I beat it. That was fun. The story was cool. The story was better than I thought it would be. The single player heist and everything was good. The climax of the story, some of the changes in the setting, all of that was good. The online was pretty boring, and that's you would think in a game like Grand Theft Auto that'd be hard to do, but I felt like the online play was boring. Like other than like some things I got into with like some friends, that was fine, but everything else was pretty boring. So I gave up on that. Didn't feel like leveling it. And like leveling was pretty slow, and gaining money was slow. Maybe I just sucked at it. I don't know, but I gave up on it. Now, all of that was has it nearly been a year now?
Yeah, it's actually, it has been a year.
Yeah. So, nearly
a
year ago is when I got bored with the game. So when the Grand Theft Auto 5 for next gen was announced, I thought people were idiots in the first place for wanting that because it's the exact same game. And they didn't say Grand Theft Auto 5 remastered or Ultimate Edition. It's just you're getting Grand Theft Auto 5, the game you just paid $60 for and beat. You can play it again, but this time we got really, really good lighting effects. So, come on in. And then heists. Everybody makes a big deal out of that. It was fun, but I mean, you've been waiting a year for it now. Like, just wrap it up. Just give it up. Like, why? And then a first-person view. Why would I care about that? In that type of game, why does that even matter? Like, that'll be cool for like 10 minutes. I'm gonna get in a car, go on the first-person view, and like probably run over a ton of people. And then I'm done with that. That's not a game first person view. I don't like they've been spending money and resources and people on making a first person view for it. And not the heist? Go ahead, Mike.
I think it's really sad that people are willing to complain about games not being 1080p or 30 frames per second. They're going to complain about all these things that are just minute in comparison, but are willing to pay $60 for the same game twice in a year's time span. It's the same game, and they're gonna I'm getting it because of heist mode. But wasn't heist mode supposed to be on the other version? Why are you paying money to get a mode that you should already be getting? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Outside of that, yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not going to buy GTA. I just don't want it. Again, I enjoyed the campaign when I played through it. That's about it. That's all there is for me. I don't need to play the game again just to have better graphics. Like, that's not enough of a draw to me. There's other games coming out that I'm more interested in, especially during November. Like, yeah, I'm good. But that's just me, though. I just don't see the appeal.
You know what's gonna happen? Heists are good in theory, and they're just like Battlefield Hardline. It's gonna look really good in a trailer with multiplayer heists. But remember, that you have a bunch of idiots playing with you online.
This is also very true.
So your heists aren't going to be as well implemented and beautiful and as scripted looking as everything else. Just like Battlefield Hardline, they made that trailer, and I'm like, oh, that looks great, but yeah, no, that's not going to happen at all. And that was the case when people played it. So these heists, I don't care. I would have been more interested if they added more single player heists.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what people were looking forward to, because the single player heist missions were pretty much the best missions during the campaign. Like, they were amazing, and that's why people have just been so anticipating, or have been anticipating this mode so much. And yet we wait. You know.
Whole year.
I thought they had said initially that there was going to be story-driven content that was going to be added to this game at some point.
I thought so too, but it's been a year, so
I
forgot to hear about it anymore. I traded my copy in, as a matter of fact.
Oh man, you've hurt a lot of people's hearts by saying that.
Man, whoever people, it doesn't matter. It's been a whole year. I traded it in, and I haven't even had any moments within a year to even regret that. Nothing's come out and been like, hey, you should have kept this game because this happened. No, and it still hasn't happened.
That's true. These are all valid points. I can't argue with that one. But it is what it is with Grand Theft Auto 5. But speaking of a lot of the newer games coming out, there is one game that's coming out, I believe it's coming out next month, that a lot of people are looking forward to. Besides the fact that Super Smash Bros. Will be out on 3DS, the Wii U is about to have Bayonetta 2. Now, according to reports, apparently Bayonetta 2 was not selling well in Japan. I'm not really sure what the numbers are. I believe you know what the numbers are, you specifically, Mike, but I have to ask the question. Now, is this a sign of how the game will perform when it finally comes over to North America? And even a bigger question, is this a sign that this game can eventually go multi-platform as a result of poor sales? So,
I'll let Mike go first.
Yeah.
Hold on, give me a minute, fellas. Actually, you go first, Charles.
Okay. I'm kind of sad that Bayonetta's not doing well in Japan, because I kind of defended and applauded that move when it happened, because Bayonetta was cool. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And then they picked up Bayonetta 2. And people were so kind of like outraged, just like with the Tomb Raider thing. People were like, "Well, nah. Why is it exclusive? Blah 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 blah." And I'm like, one, you, Mr. Not Exclusive person, probably never even played the first game, and that actually happened a few times that people never played it. And then two, the game wouldn't have come out at all if it weren't exclusive. Like, they had to do that deal in order to even have the game made. So I was hoping that it would do a lot better with the Wii U, with the Nintendo. I don't think it's possible that it'll go multi-platform, though. I don't know if either of these guys are going to be willing to pay out for that to happen. I mean, Microsoft just freaking emptied out its pocket change on that Minecraft 2 joint, so I don't know if they have any spare bills hanging around to pick up Bayonetta 2. And I mean, I think it should just stay there. It should just stay where it is. They should invest a little bit more into the marketing, because the release date isn't the be-all end-all. Things can happen. It can sell over time. Because like Demon Souls, when it first came out, it didn't sell well initially, but it picked up. Word of mouth, good marketing. Put the name out there where it needs to be.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it needs. I mean, honestly, I didn't expect the sales to be amazing, just because I figure in Japan they're kind of moving away from the whole home console ideology anyway. They're really into mobile gaming, whether it be via like a 3DS or a Vita, or even on their phone, or like iPads or tablets of any sort. So for them, like this isn't going to be enough to get a system. They're probably currently anticipating Smash Brothers Wii U as well. So I think you're going to see Wii U sales pick up in Japan and everywhere when that comes out, just like you did when Mario Kart and all these other games came out, just like you will when the new Zelda game comes out. So I think you'll see Bayonetta sales increase then as well. And like he said as well, it'll happen over time, like with other games like Demon Souls or whatnot. But it is kind of disheartening to see the numbers be that low. I mean, I knew they were going to be lower than a lot of people expected. I didn't know they were going to be that low. Is my issue. So it kind of makes you wonder. But at the same point in time, I haven't even played the game yet, so it's not like I can sit here and say that the game is quality for sure. I'm assuming that it's going to be quality based off if its predecessor and the company making it. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, from what I've heard of reviews of the game in Japan, it's amazing. So it's kind of weird that the game is getting good reviews and still underperforming. But I think that's just the reality of the gaming market in Japan right now. Nintendo needs a bigger game to come out for these other games to do well, and they probably misplaced Bayonetta's release. Bayonetta and any of these other games should have been coming out right after Smash or right after the new Zelda. One of those two, because those are the games where people in Japan are actually going to be in stores buying Wii U's. So, yeah, it is a little disheartening. But, I mean, personally, I'm not shocked. I just think it's sad or funny to a degree when you see people who don't like Nintendo use this as a way of, mocking or attacking them. And I'm like, what game is doing well in Japan right now on main consoles? Like the big games that are selling in Japan now are all handheld games. That's not a shock. Like there's a reason for this. Bayonetta still was in the top 10, wasn't it? I think I had to look at the list again, but the numbers were up there. It's just it didn't do as well as it's supposed to. So I don't know. I don't think it needs to go multi-platform though. I don't. Like let that be there. They paid the money for it. They incorporated all the Nintendo costumes into the game. Let that be there. And that's just Japan. Let the game come out worldwide. Let other games come to the Wii U, and you'll see sales pick up. If people want a quality game, they'll go get it.
Yeah. Well, only thing I will add to that is that yeah, it's unfortunate that it's not selling well over in Japan. I believe it may sell a little bit better here because of the package they have, where for those who haven't played the first game, they can play the first game too. Because they are releasing both in one package over here for one
I
price.
forgot about that.
Um,
Yeah.
so maybe, but we'll see sooner or later. Um, Staying on the Wii U though, there is one game that came out earlier this year. I know you was a big fan of this game. Well, I won't say a huge fan because I don't know how much you were into the game. But Watch Dogs, apparently Ubisoft, they made a statement today that I saw saying that the Wii U version of Watch Dogs that's coming out will not have any DLC, which I find odd because DLC is in every other version of Watch Dogs, but now they're saying when it launches, we're not going to be putting out any DLC. It's just going to be the core game all by itself. Um, they also announced at the same time that they took the feedback from Watch Dogs and that they are going to make Watch Dogs 2 to quote their terms, a radically different game. Whatever that means, because a lot of people complained about the character, the story, stuff like that. So what do you guys think of, first and foremost, their decision to not have DLC on the Wii U version, and secondly, if you really think the second game or the sequel is going to be any better than the first?
I sorry Dave, I didn't know if Charles wanted to go first. I just like that doesn't make any sense to me. Let's start from the top. First off, you're releasing a game about a year after the original came out on a console that hasn't gotten it. And instead of including all the DLC and making this a quote unquote definitive edition, you're going to give this game less content. So it's coming later with less content. It's almost as if They're doing this just to put the game out there and say, see, no one's buying it. We don't want to make games for this system. But Nintendo, keep letting us make your games on your 3DS because that's a gold mine and we want to make that easy money. Like, no, that's unacceptable. I'm shocked that Nintendo's even letting them do that. This game is being made to fail, in all honesty. And then in addition, the response to Watch Dogs 2 being radically different. Well, if Watch Dogs 2 is radically different, why would Watch Dogs fans play it? They're fans of Watch Dogs. They're not fans of some new game you're going to be making. Like, I understand that people have complaints about the character and story, but people always have complaints about characters and stories. Stick to your guns. Like, to me, Watch Dogs' problem had nothing to do with the main character or the story. I actually liked the main character and the story. It was the gameplay mechanics. They were just clunky. They didn't work as well as they should have. It needed more time. Um, and there were lots of things that they just didn't implement, maybe because the game wasn't ready for all of that yet. Like, why can't I shoot out every streetlight I see? Like, simple things like that. That should be the focus for improving the sequel. Not, let me change the character and the story. If they do that, then why am I playing Watch Dogs 2? You might as well call it a new IP again. I don't know. But the entire way they're handling this thing, even the versions that already came out, just like, it's almost as if they don't have a set in stone direction. They don't know what they want to do yet with this franchise. And that's kind of disheartening because it has potential. They just need to pick a path and stick to it.
Hmm. What do you have to add to that, Charles?
It seems like
should be
it seems. Hold on.
Hey, who was that in the background I heard?
That was totally you in the background that you just heard because I'm playing a different page. But what it sounds like to me is that they probably had a contractual tie to Nintendo where they had to put Watch Dogs on there, but there was probably a loophole where they didn't have to do the DLC. Because with the backlash of that game, I mean, it's not going to sell well. It already was not going to sell well, and then to say, oh, well, you're going to get a freaking, whack version of it also. Like, we're not going to give you any of the extra content. Because I feel like that hurts them in the long run, more so than just the immediate impact. Because, they're making Watch Dogs 2 or whatever, but the Wii U guys aren't going to give a crap about that because you didn't even give them the full game in the first place. Now, I don't know how much of a business hit they're going to take. I don't know if people on the Wii U are looking for Watch Dogs. Me personally, I think that with the gameplay style that Watch Dogs that it has, and the hacking and stuff. Me personally, I think that some of the things on the Wii U, like the tablet, there could have been some very unique gameplay styles implemented over there that they should have taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. But maybe their freaking research and development team is they're a little busy changing the sliders on the PC version or something. I don't know, but I think it's a dumb call, and I agree with what Mike was saying that don't change your game so drastically just because of some other thing. Like, if the gameplay issues weren't there, I don't think the character and story problems would even be that big of a deal. It's just, with the gameplay problem there, the game didn't look like they wanted it to look. You get them in the negative mindset, then they're going to nitpick everything. And it's that simple. And you can't sit there and try to cater to everyone's expectations. Make the best title that you can make. Put the sliders on max for all graphics for every freaking device, and just give them Watch Dogs 2 because that's what you want to do anyway. You want to make it a franchise and a cash cow. Completely changing that is not going to do anything. Just improve on the mistakes that you made and get better. And stop shafting Wii U owners like a freaking stepchild.
Oh, well, it's too late to stop that process because it is continuing. There's a lot of games out this fall that won't be on Wii U, so it's rather unfortunate. I think you both made valid points. And as Michael A. said about them not having a clear direction. Well, you know what? Let's stay on that topic about direction because there's another company that people said didn't have a clear direction, or they appear that way because of their constant back and forths. Of course, I'm talking about Microsoft. They announced recently that the Xbox One is going to be launching in China next week on the 29th. So, of course, it's going to be launching with 10 games. That's Forza Forza Motorsport 5, Connect Sports Rivals, Power Star Golf, Zoo Tycoon, Max the Curse of the Brotherhood, Dance Central Spotlight, Neverwinter Online, Rayman Legends, Trials Fusion, and this Chinese-developed ID at Xbox game called Naughty Kitties. I don't know what that game is. Looking at this list of games, not really too impressed by that list, but I got to ask you guys now, judging by how Microsoft did in Japan, or should I say how they didn't do in Japan, maybe you can tell me, how do you think they're going to do in China with the Xbox One?
I mean, I think they'll feel better. China's kind of like an open market. I mean, people know the history. Not a lot of consoles there that have been coming out anytime close to the console's original launch because of piracy issues and antitrust laws and this, that, and the third. So this is an opportunity. It's a risk, but it's a huge opportunity, not just for Microsoft. Like lots of other companies should be looking into that and coming out over there. I know Nintendo has had issues because with every console that they made, China has basically had a flood of fake knockoffs on the market. Like with the Wii, I believe that V console, the VII console, that came out originated in China, and I know they had a couple that I know were from China that were basically just knockoff versions of the system, wasn't even real, and it didn't play Nintendo games. At least the ones I saw, they played like cheaply made games or whatnot, but they were just selling to compete, and people couldn't really tell the difference over there. So yeah, like I guess there's issues of worry of that way, but I mean, it's still like coming out with the Xbox One over there is huge. That's an opportunity for them. They'd be better. They'd be better off focusing their efforts on China than Japan. Japan's a lost cause for Microsoft and Xbox. Like, just stop releasing games over there. You can have them make games for the system, but release the system everywhere else but Japan. But yeah, China's a huge. I mean, I don't. I think you can expect to see Sony and Nintendo, and maybe even the Steam box, which I think the Steam box would probably be huge in Japan and China as well. I think you can expect to see other companies try and step into China within the next 2-3 years. This is a good chance for Microsoft, though. I like the decision. The game lineup they have. I mean, let's be honest. Like the launch in America and Europe for these systems last year wasn't much better. Now that I think about it, maybe Xbox did launch with like twice as many games. I guess they're trying to cater the games to that market, but even that's a little off. I think Forza could be big over there. I think Forza could be really big in China. I mean Forza is one of the games they have that has international appeal. But yeah, most of the other games on that list, I'm kind of like, I either don't know much about or don't think they'll be huge over there.
Yeah. What do you think, Charles?
He actually hit the nail on the head when he said that he thinks Steam box will actually be a big deal in China. Like when it boils down to it, I mean, it is an open market. There's a lot of diversity there as far as the types of games that are played. But I don't have a full understanding of things, but I know RTS games are a huge deal over there, and console just can't replicate that experience. That's why I'm a PC gamer, is because I don't get RTS titles, good ones at least, on a console. And the Steam box is planning to have that with their unique controller and stuff. So, but I agree also that with Xbox, it's just a joke now to even release in Japan. There's only upside in China. Like, I agree. Like, if it's extreme to just stop selling in Japan, but it's better than getting these pity sales that they're getting so far. Just focus in a different market. focus your advertising dollars elsewhere, and it'll be better. Simple. Like they want to get Japan just because Sony has Japan, and Sony barely has Japan. Nintendo has Japan, like in
Yeah.
their grasp. Like stop trying to compete on that note because you're just wasting money. Because the 3DS is going to destroy you in every way possible, and it's that plain. So yeah, I think now on the specificity of the launch games, I think that's a terrible launch for that area. Other than Forza and I guess the Chinese developed game, because if the Chinese develop, hopefully they know what Chinese people want. The gamers at least. I think Forza, Zoo Tycoon, and Naughty Kitties are probably, and Neverwinter are probably going to be the only things that do well.
Yeah, I agree.
That's about it.
That launch is a little kind of makes me raise my eyebrow, confusion. But yeah,
Yeah. Because it seems like they're half-assing a good opportunity here. I don't think they understand the opportunity that they have. So.
and that's what I was. That's the other thing. Like, I mean, I guess where people are forgetting. I'm not saying that the vast majority of their population is gamers, but like, there's billions of people in China, literally. So that I mean, even if only 10% of them play video games, that's still millions of sales in terms of consoles and software. Um, that would be huge for them. I'm not sure. Are any consoles out in India? Because I would think that'd be the next place to go.
Hmm.
I honestly don't know.
Do not know.
But yeah, I would think those two would be especially for Microsoft, considering they already have a huge base over there with in terms of people who work for them and whatnot. I mean, you got to go to India next. India and China. I mean, not even just in terms of people there, just there's so much potential there for to in terms of business sales and establishing gamers. I know people in India that game, so gaming is big over there. It's just I'm not sure if the systems are out there because the my friend who has a 360 over there, he got his here and took it over there. So that's why I don't understand. Like, and he imports his games from all over. That's why I want to know if they actually have an official Xbox over there, or any official systems. But yeah, those regions I think are huge, and I don't see anything wrong with Microsoft going for them. Even if they have, that's where you want to. If you're willing to put time and money and energy into a region, that's the region you need to be doing that for. Japan is a lost cause. You will never get Japan. It will never happen. There's nothing you can do. Let it go. Like, I don't even know why I'm
Well,
still saying this. I've been saying this for years. Even when the 360 came out, I'm like, why are you bothering? They're not. This system could be amazing. They don't care. It's not Japanese. They're not buying it.
well, gotta give them an A for effort.
I don't know.
Well,
When you keep doing the same thing over and over again, it makes me kind of wonder, like, how do people still have those jobs? Because that makes no sense.
well, just to very briefly continue with Microsoft. I know today Major Nelson announced the October games with gold. Um, Pretty much the Xbox One is going to get Chariot, which is an indie developed game, which is a new game, by the way, that is coming out next month. They're also going to get Super Time Force, whereas the Xbox 360 owners are going to get Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Darksiders 2. Very quickly, I have to ask you guys the question: do you think this is the best that they've done with games with gold so far for October?
I mean, I don't know about that. It might be the best. This is a really good month, honestly, for Xbox gamers with gold. Like you're getting like on both consoles, you're getting quality games for free. I mean, Bad Company 2. I'm not a big fan of it because I'm an actual Battlefield fan. I like the actual Battlefield games. I always see back. I mean, shoot, they even said it. Bad Company is basically Battlefield for kindergartners. But a lot of people got into Battlefield on consoles on with Bad Company, especially Bad Company 2. So they have fond memories of that game. And the online, I mean, it's simplified, but it's not bad. It's solid. So that definitely be fun to play. I know people who are still playing it. And Darks, what was the other? You said Darkstalkers too,
Darksiders too.
or Darkstalkers. Sorry, Darksiders too. Yeah, like that's a good game. Like so, if you're on 360, I still have mine. Shoot, I'll be downloading. I know at least one of those games is getting downloaded. And Chariot is solid. That's the one thing about the Xbox One games. It's like they take one game that they've already given away free, and then they keep giving that one away free, and then add another
Yeah.
one. And
Yep,
I
that's
guess it's because the system is still new. But I kind of wish they would just get to the point where it's just like two new games. But we'll see. I mean, I already have Time Force because I think that was free last month. I caught that ASAP. Chariot, I'll download just because I actually got to play it yesterday. Um, I got to help someone stream the game early, and
Hmm.
it's fun. So there's lots of potential there. The puzzles are. I like puzzle games. They make you. I like games that make me think. I kind of get lost in them trying to figure out things, and I'm one of those people that I have enough patience to keep doing something over and over again until I figure it out. So it works for me. And Chariot is pretty fun. So I mean, these are quality games to me, and especially considering the way that Games with Gold works on 360, where once you download the game, it's yours, even if you don't have gold anymore. Yeah, this yeah, I'm shoot, they got me. I'm pleased.
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick. I think this is a good promotion. I do agree that I don't like them giving away the same games because I know Super Time Force is already out for this month. Um, but it does make me wonder by them deciding to have Chariot, about what other games they're gonna have in the future. We have to wait and see. You have anything to add, Charles?
I would say that games with gold has exceeded my expectations because way back when we first talked about it, I clowned them for sure. Um, yeah, I bashed them, and you know what? At that time, they deserved it, so I still stand by it. They can kiss my butt. But now I don't know too much about Chariot. I do not understand why Battlefield Bad Company 2 is on there, but Super Time Force and Darksiders 2, that's fantastic value. That's ridiculous value to have both of those games. Um, I've been playing Super Time Force on the PC, and that game is a crap ton of fun.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, I was already envious when Xbox got it first before PlayStation did because I don't have my Xbox anymore, and then I don't have an Xbox One. So, but I got it on PC. I enjoy it. I love it. And then for them to get it free with games with gold, that's awesome. And that's a game that most people probably wouldn't even look for, and try out. So maybe this will open their eyes up to new things as opposed to remastered things over and over again. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. I think it's pretty good. I don't know about it being their best promotion yet because I don't have an Xbox and I don't know what it's been week to week. But I will tell you, I do not have PlayStation Plus right now because I think, like looking at what's been on the PS3 side of things, I think the
Oh,
attention's gone towards the PlayStation 4, which would make sense. So I don't really, they're not really offering too much on the PS3 side of things that I'm interested in at least. So
yeah. Well, yeah, you got to move towards shift your focus to PS4 because that's where it's at apparently. Um, but since you brought up PlayStation, I know that they had announced that PlayStation TV is coming out October 14th. Um, and of course, this is a big deal because when they announced it a while back for Japan, everybody they lost their minds. Of course, it allows you to stream your games on, another TV that you have in the house, so long as it's in a close distance. Um, I just was going to ask you guys real briefly, what do you think of this concept? Are you guys planning on investing in PlayStation TV, or will you just be passing on this and seeing how it does first before you even think about, picking it up?
well, seeing as I'll be buying a PlayStation 4, I won't need a PlayStation TV. Um, Yeah, I don't think I because I mean it'll have everything that the PS TV can do on the console, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could download games from PlayStation One, like a lot of PlayStation classics. So I mean that does leads me to ask the question, well, what's the deal with PlayStation Now? I mean, are people going to be using PlayStation Now on PlayStation TV? I'm not sure how that whole process
Well,
works.
you realize it's not. Did you hear about the news with PlayStation Now? It's not called PlayStation Now anymore.
Well, no, it's not. Well, no, what is it?
It's called PlayStation Later. Load time,
Wow.
and then it's possible. It's not even guaranteed later. It may load up, and then even if it loads, your controller inputs might not. They might not work right then. So
That right there is, I thought that loading issue was resolved, so that's very disturbing.
This was all. They just changed the name.
yeah, PlayStation Now is gone. It's just later now, and that you can't be mad at your expectations. They told you it's not now, but PlayStation Now, like the only use I have for PlayStation TV is like trolling my friends. Like if they come over and play, I'm like, I'm gonna play this. You can play like the mobile games on that TV if you want. I'm good. Like what do I need it for?
Yeah, well,
Now the TVs that they had, like I know that PlayStation TV is coming out. Are the televisions with PlayStation Now in them? I mean PlayStation later in them. Are those coming out at the same time? Because that makes more sense to me.
actually, that is a good question. I'm not 100% sure about that. I do believe that they are going to be coming out around the same time, though, because yeah, as you say, that would make sense
Yeah,
for Sony.
yeah. Because I mean, their market is hurting out anywhere outside of games, and I think if they get those televisions going at a decent price with PlayStation put on them, then that's good. That can also be a means to kind of push indie titles a bit more through like PlayStation later. And you know what? And if they fix all the issues, and if they fix all the problems, and it becomes PlayStation Now again, I'm actually a fan of the idea. I like PlayStation Now. I think it's a good thing, but I am not gonna buy an extra device just to use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then did they announce a price for that?
Yeah, I believe it's $99.
Okay, and then another thing. What is it? Okay, I'm gonna read the thing that we have to read from our agenda. It says PlayStation Vita. The PS TV plays select titles from PS Vita. What titles are they gonna select? They better select every last one that they got.
What do
Is
you
it
mean?
so-
There's so many of them. How can they afford to do that? There's too many games.
Look, okay, I'm gonna tell you something. I work at Best Buy, right? And today, I worked for Best Buy for 4 years. I don't know how long the Vita's been out, but today was the first time that an order came through that I had to go pick up 2 games for the Vita. I was confused at first when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. I forgot we even
Oh, I
cared.
see. So there was so many games for it there that you were
Right.
just like, I didn't know where to find them. There's too many.
Yeah, sure. That's exactly it. Uh, and then the 2 games were freaking Unit 13, which was a launch title, I think, maybe some early.
Launch
And
window, I believe.
yeah, launch window and Resistance Burning Skies.
No. Are you sure that person bought that? That sounds like a troll order to me.
Both of them, $9.99. Who? Why did they do that to themselves? Like who? They
Well, I
probably
mean,
got the Vita as a gift and was like,
Yeah.
well, what games can I get? And that's all they found. There's nothing. I love the class. I would play the classics all day, every day. But your price of admission is a little high when the games aren't even there. So
I still find it funny that how do people just allow like a system's come out, powerful system in terms of hardware,
yeah,
and yet there's no real Vita, like there's no Vita exclusive experiences.
There
It's
is no
just
selling. There is no
yeah.
killer IP for that at
I can
all.
play PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 games while I'm on the toilet on my Vita. So you just paid for a controller, basically? A wireless controller. Like, where are the exclusive Vita experiences? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they have some coming down the pipeline, I'm hoping. Because
No,
the hardware is too powerful to not be utilized. But we'll see.
no, it will be a lot of JRPGs.
And there's nothing
Uh,
wrong with that. It needs that. Because right now, even in just the JRPG front, like, they're losing badly to Nintendo. It's not close. You
oh
play
no,
JRPGs, go get a 3DS. That's what I tell my friends.
ouch, ouch,
Yeah,
ouch.
I
you
mean,
know
I
I'm
have
talking about
mine, so.
JRPGs so much right now. I don't have a choice. I'm getting the new 3DS because
Yeah,
I
oh,
want.
the new 3DS? I'm getting the new 3DS XL when it comes out. I'll
Yeah,
have two of them. I'll have
I'm
one.
getting
I have
it.
the one I have now, and this new one for Smash, and I don't even care.
I'm
Wait,
getting the
hold.
new one for Xenoblade Chronicles because I don't want to pay $100
Oh,
for
and
that.
yeah, that. Oh my god, I forgot almost. Whew.
I'm, I'm getting
Oh,
I
Xenoblade.
might not even be playing at home anymore. I might have to go outside for a walk just so I have an excuse to play 3DS.
Yep. Burn some calories and play some games.
Yep, makes sense to me.
Games. Shout out to Jay.
Yeah, gamer games or whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
Gamers.
yeah, hey, that's right. Shout out to JJ. Uh, well, all right. There are two quick topics that I would definitely want to talk about. They're rather controversial. So well, one is the other one maybe not quite so much. Let's start with the one that's not quite as controversial, I guess. So a new study was released that claims that violent video games don't lead to violent behavior. Now we already know, we've been following this industry for quite a while. We were into games ever since we were kids. We already knew that anytime anything appeared in a game, the media would jump all over it and say, "Oh, this is too violent for kids," all this other stuff.
Mhm.
Now, this was a study that was done at Villanova and Rutgers, um, and pretty much, I mean, they don't really have any hard numbers involved in this, but pretty much, as it states, they came to the conclusion that violence in video games does not contribute to what somebody actually does. So, are you guys surprised by this statement? What do you think about the topic in general?
I am genuinely surprised because I mean I've played violent video games damn near my whole life, and I have committed so many murders. I have so many felonies. I got one, I got two felonies. Like I'm Bill Bellamy out here. I just have mad felonies. And no, in all seriousness, like that. This was even like who did this? Like why is like first off, I was mad when the Obama administration dedicated what was it $3 million? It was like $3+ million to researching violent video games. And I'm like, well, what are you going to find? That they don't cause violent behavior? Because we already know this. Numerous people have done studies on this. Common sense tells you that this is true. But yeah, go ahead and research it. And now we have yet another study coming out saying this. And it doesn't shock me at all because I mean, it's true. I play violent video games. I have no urges to just randomly kill people because they walk in front of someone. I was like, oh, I can get a quick double headshot, no scope. Like, no, never happens to me in real life. Like, it doesn't come to me. It doesn't come to my mind because I understand that there's a difference between video games and reality. I think most gamers do. If there are gamers that aren't able to do that, well, that's not an issue with gaming. That's an issue with them
Aaron,
individually that needs to be addressed. And that would apply to them watching a movie or reading books as well. They wouldn't be able to differentiate between fantasy and reality, period. So I don't know. I hope that now that this is coming out now again, we can also put to bed the stupid notion that somehow sexism in games, quote unquote, leads to sexism in real life, quote unquote. Because that's equally
Oh,
as dumb.
oh,
It makes no sense. And yet, we have people continuously trying to tell us that that's true. In fact, some of them are even making money doing this, basically telling us something that's just a flat out lie. That something that doesn't even exist in the way that they're saying exists anyway, then leads to it existing in real life. It's like, no. It's bad enough that half of what you're saying is wrong. The other half isn't even true. It's like, well, what are you talking about then? What have you been talking about this past year or two? Like, stop. Stop, like, people need to stop trying to scapegoat something for other people's behavior. Yeah, there are violent people in the world. There are sexist people in the world. There are racist people in the world. There are ableist people in the world. But these people aren't this way because of video games, because of movies or whatnot. They're this way because of their personal experiences in life and the people around them. And you know what? Even biology isn't perfect. They're just rotten apples. Sometimes there are just going to be people that are just bad people. There will be people that are violent, and there's nothing you can do with them. Even with proper parenting, even with a perfect society, there will always be people who just want to see the world burn. There are always going to be people like that. And I think it is good that studies like this happen, even though it's kind of like, at first I'm like, yeah, I knew this already. But this does need to come to limelight because I'm tired of seeing this on the news. Whenever something bad happens, oh, so and so played GTA. That was training for their murder spree. What are you talking about? How is GTA training for anything with guns? Like, it's not realistic at all. There's no kickback from the guns. Like, the ammunition control isn't real. Like, none of that's real. But whenever something like that happens, that's what they do. They go there and they say, "Oh, this was practice. This is how he did it." It's like, no, man, stop doing that. Stop blaming video games for kids falling out of line and whatnot. They did the same thing to music in the '90s. So a kid did something. Oh, he listened to Marilyn Manson. Like, well, what does that have to do with anything? Like, I don't understand that. Like, I mean, I'm sure Hitler was inspired by many books he's read. Did they move to ban books because it caused people to be bad? Actually, there was a time when people were trying to burn books too. So, yeah, I guess anything new, people were going to try to destroy it. I don't know.
How about you, Charles?
I don't really have too much to add to that. He pretty much said it. He hit the nail on the head with that one. I think if I were to say any more, I would be, as Austin would say, beating the drum. So I won't.
That is banned from this show. You know it. It's not a saying. I don't know. Like, no.
He said it is. He made it famous. You gotta get a t-shirt.
He's not here.
When you start selling.
I don't here or not. That is not a saying. Like, who says I don't want to be beating the drum? Like, what does that mean?
Beating the drum. Yeah, very perverted. That's what it sounds.
That's exactly right. I mean, I've heard of marching to the beat of my own drum. I've heard of that. Yeah, never heard of someone else. Not to beat the drum. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. What the hell does that mean? Yeah. What the hell is he talking about? Well, that's all good. It's always a good time.
Yeah, but no, I don't have anything to add on that note. I think it's I didn't even remember the whole thing with Obama spending that much money on it. That's infuriating.
Yeah, it was. I want to say 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It was after. I mean, it was more. I think it was more so a response to like this string of violent events that happened in America, like the Dark Knight theater shooting and all that.
Right. How much money was it again?
I think it was $3+ million.
Okay.
All right. I have something to say. I'm gonna let you go first, Charles.
No, I was just gonna say, as long as they didn't spend as much as Microsoft spent on Minecraft, that's all I wanted to say.
Wow. Well, you know what? Microsoft's gonna actually make money. They're gonna make profit off that.
You're right. They're gonna make it all back.
What are the American people going to make off of that money we spent researching something we already knew the answer to?
None.
That's right.
Zero.
But you know what? To piggyback off of what you just said, yeah, they spend money on this stuff, but yet you got companies going out of business, people losing jobs left and right. They need to focus on improving the economy, not on this little shit like this. But that's just my opinion on that particular part. I mean, I'm not surprised by the study either. I do think people need to stop looking for excuses if there is something they're going through in their own life that needs to be addressed. They need to be.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, let me update that. You know how I said it was $3+ million? Yeah, I was wrong. It was $10 million.
Whoa! Wow.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and link it in the chat for you guys to check out as well.
You don't have the answer, but I have a question. How how could we even spend that much money researching it?
And I wonder what the research
What
is.
library do I need to
And
go?
why was I involved in this research? Here, we're gonna sit you down and have you play these video games and see if you're violent. Yeah, pay me for that. Okay, where's my? You could have gave me 1/4 of that, and I could have just sent you a letter with a big NO on it, and we would have been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. It is spending money recklessly, and you got all this other stuff falling apart.
That's $10 million that could have went into Destiny's marketing, yo.
No, that's okay.
$10 million could have went into what? Did he just say? What?
Yeah,
I said that's $10 million that could have gone into Destiny's marketing, bro.
That's okay. No.
And I guarantee, even with that 10 million added, the game would be no better than it is now.
Hey, you know what? They got 500 million. They spent half of it to make the game, half of it advertising. That 10 million that they
they already made their profit back now. I think about it.
That 10 million that they just spent.
Yeah.
That 10 million could have brought the Grimoires into the game. We don't know.
What does that even do? What does my Grimoire score do?
It's all right. You remember the Codex from 13, Final Fantasy 13?
Yes.
That's what it is. You go on there.
So it does nothing?
You read about. Now, I'm not talking about the Grimoire points. I have no idea what that's for. But the cards themselves tell you more
just like
information on the history.
Okay.
But why not have that in the game?
Well, it's too much.
You know what? It is too much because their freaking menu, their start menu, sucks balls. Like when I'm playing freaking Crucible and I try to switch weapons, I'm dead. Like if I try to switch my loadout, like of course you're playing multiplayer, you have your loadout set, but don't give me the option.
Why not let you have a separate loadout for Guardian versus Guardian versus Guardian versus, or like they should have a PvE loadout and a PvP loadout.
Yeah, exactly. Because there are abilities that you have, as a character that you would want to change that work better for PvP than it does for PvE.
Yep.
Like that's something that they got to change. Maybe with an update that can be fixed. It doesn't seem like that's too much of a hassle. So
they have to do a lot of updates to fix a lot of things.
I mean, it seems like they're doing a pretty good job. Well, go ahead. I think I know where you're going next with that.
No, you do. Well, no, I was going to say, they need to fix a lot of things, but unless there's an update that fixes the story, then I probably won't be interested in other fixing. But no, I say this, and yet I'm pretty sure I will be back playing the game again because I have to, level up. I have to see what everybody's talking about. Oh, yeah, the real game begins after you get to level 20. So
you know what? And I'll tell you what that means. Like, all right, so the embargo on spoilers should be over by now, right?
It's all over.
All right, well, spoiler alert, if you're a freaking monkey, clown, something, get out of it now. But, all right, so level 20 or whatever, get to certain areas, screw all that. Story-wise, they introduce a pretty interesting character, the Stranger, on Venus, right? Very interesting character. Not a Guardian. Has something to do with the Traveler. Probably made of light, considering how she teleported. And she's probably talking to the freaking Traveler. Did they develop that in any way?
No. That's what the DLC is for, right?
You could have at least gone into that because we got nothing else. Like the stuff on the Vex was pretty cool with them, terraforming or whatever mecha forming planets and stuff. I like that, but give me more info on that.
But there's a reason why they didn't go into that because they want to keep you coming back for more. So they say, we're gonna get you to get whatever little expansion packs we got. Yeah, we got coming out in December. We got that December. December.
You already got me there getting the gear and everything. I enjoy that stuff. I like grinding for gear. I like grinding for loot. I'm starting to get frustrated a little bit because I'm not getting a lot of drops now. But I like the daily and the weekly playlist. I like the Strike playlist. I like the Crucible a lot, and I like the that they're constantly adding things. Now, I must say that the Queen's Bounty stuff has been incredibly disappointing.
Yes. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, this is gonna be amazing. I start playing it. I'm like, wait a minute. So it's basically the same thing as the Vanguard and Crucible points. I just have to rank up by doing missions. It's Vanguard missions
But
with the new
for
emblem.
the Queen, and
For
her
the Queen.
items suck. They're
Yeah.
I'm grinding. Look, this is what doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so I'm grinding at this point for legendary and exotic gear. Okay, so let's say that they did the Queen's Bounty to motivate people like Rich, who's level 10, to get up there because the items in there with the Queen's Emissary are rare, which is a step below, right? But why would I do that and go for a rare item when I've already got better stuff? And then something else that doesn't make sense. So rare items are really cool, if you're like level 18 or something. I can't remember if those specifically had a level 20 max on them. But the Queen's Bounty mission on the playlist, you have to be like level 26 or 25 to even do that.
Mm.
So you're going to have better gear than what they're offering you to do her bounties. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me.
That's part of that's built to keep you playing, right? To just keep you in the game. All this
Well, it's not working for me because that's part of the reason I'm like, yeah, turn that off. I legit just turned off the game and I was like, yeah, let's go finish this max. I was done at that point.
I'm waiting for DLC right now. As far as Destiny goes, I'm gonna play me some indie titles for now.
Oh man, see, they lost another one.
I told you I'm about to play the Banner Saga for the first time, the single player. So I'm about to play Banner Saga, Darkwood, The Fall. I'm gonna finish The Fall, and it moves. I got a lot of games to play, and
Yeah, you do.
real recognize real Destiny, and you start to look real unfamiliar.
Oh
Okay,
no!
Riley.
Oh, wow! Not even a month in. That's not good. It's not even a full month yet. That's not good.
I will still play it because I love the Crucible. I have a lot of fun in there. But I'm also story driven, and I need.
You love the Crucible. Whoa, I don't know how you can love that unbalanced mess.
It's not unbalanced. You just suck at it.
The balance. You're telling me that the Crucible is not unbalanced.
You know what? The only and this is
sword dance.
This is from a guy that with a positive kill death ratio, and I'm just raping people. There's only
My
one.
KD is positive. That game is unbalanced.
One thing unbalanced in that. Only one. The freaking fusion rifle. That is the only unbalanced thing.
It is unbalanced, but that's the only thing you find unbalanced.
Heck yeah, I screw up anyone else with any other problem. Like
the fact that there's heavy ammo on small, close doors, maps with no vehicles, so I can just get rocketed because heavy ammo decided to randomly spawn.
When has that been different in anything?
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Okay, even a game like Halo, there are stages in Halo where there's no rocket launcher. Why? Because it's too close quarters, and you couldn't do anything if someone shot a rocket at you. That's basically Destiny's problem now. I'll go to an objective. I have to stay there to capture it. He's running toward me with a rocket. My options, if I don't have powers, are to die fast or to die slow. Like, how does that make sense? That's not balanced. So what I started doing is saying, well, let me get heavy ammo. And I would do the same thing. This dude would be playing the objective, playing the game the correct way. And I'm like, lol, I'm playing Destiny. I shoot a rocket, I get a triple kill. Where's the skill in that? And let's not talk about the powers. Let's not talk about sword. Let's not talk about golden gun, where you can kill two people with one shot if they're close enough. Or the sword dance, where if you upgrade it, you can make it so that the sword dance, every time you kill someone, extends the amount of time you have the sword dance. You can kill all 6 people on the other team.
That's interesting.
That's like, why would you do that? How is that fun? How is that fun? Oh, Titan puts a bubble shield on top of the objective. Lol, you can't get that objective.
You know, they try something different. You know, some people enjoy it.
I don't mind that they have powers and stuff. It's just that they didn't balance any of them out. So when I play Crucible, it's literally just to grind for objectives. I'm not playing it for fun because it's not fun. I don't see the fun in being killed by shotguns 90% of the time when I walk around a corner. And not because I hate shotguns, but because people don't realize that you could use the fusion rifle from range yet. Then you get to higher levels, and people are like, oh yeah, the fusion rifle is even better than the shotgun. It's a shotgun that can kill from 8 years away. Let me just go start using fusion rifles. So now every time I walk around a corner, I'm getting fucking fusion rifled.
Wow.
Yeah, that actually, the fusion rifle is game breaking at this point, actually.
or the grenades. Oh, I almost forgot about the grenades. Let's talk about these grenades. These are. You're not talking about how broken they are. I don't. There's a grenade. Okay. Let's say you know there's 2 or 3 people in a room. You don't know where they are. You haven't even laid eyes on them, and you don't want to shoot them. You would throw this grenade in there. It separates into 3 parts and hunts down the targets for you.
Yeah. Well,
excuse me?
I have no problem with that grenade whatsoever.
What? You have no problem with the grenade that does the work for you? I wonder why.
The cooldown on that grenade is significantly longer than any of the other grenades, too. So
I don't care. Why would you put something in the game that does damage for you? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to place the grenade correctly. Just throw it and wait.
Yeah. Oh no, that's you know, it's a extra strategy element.
Yeah. Or all the grenades that, like, it makes playing, like, if they were going to do that, they should just take control out. You can't play control like this when there's grenades that you can throw that just sit there and radiate. So you can't go into the objective area. Like, what's the point of playing control then? Skirmish is like the closest thing to being balanced because it's simply 3v3.
Yeah. Well.
Or the fact that there's keep having bounties for this salvage game mode. But salvage game mode is never up. So I can never get those bounties. What's the point? Like, I don't see. I legitimately don't see how you find that thing to be bound. Like, it's broken. It's legit broken.
Well, this is work in progress. You know.
Man, that's a progress I'm not gonna see. Then that's not a mountaintop I'm climbing to. I'm done. Flat out. And anyone that says I suck, I have a positive KD. I'll shoot. If you're really, really willing to get clapped, I'll play you real quick, and I will cheat, and you will rage, and I'm gonna be like, I told you this game is broken.
Yeah.
And I only have a Titan. Wait till I make my Warlock. Oh no, that melee where I can use the Force and slap you from around the block. Yeah, that's happening. The first time I got meleeed by the Warlock, the second character I started went straight to Warlock. I didn't even care. I was like, nope. That is the longest pimp hand I have ever seen. Legitimately, his melee is like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you give someone a melee from that? His melee is like longer than shotgun range. It's like, how does that work? Yeah. That's, oh my, no, I don't even want to, I'm starting to get a headache thinking about Destiny right now. I don't want
to. No. Let's shift away from Destiny.
Yes, thank you.
A lot of people some of them are tired of that game, and they're a little frustrated. So you know, it's all good though. But let's jump on to the final topic. That is easily some of the most controversial news that I have heard this week, but not shocking because of who was involved. So, according to an Ars Technica interview, GameStop Executive Vice President Mike Hogan has mentioned that they are now looking into allowing users to buy used DLC, such as digital games and add-ons. He also went on to say that the huge move like this will require partnerships with numerous retailers and publishers. But a transition could be possible at some point in the future. Now, I think it's clear that GameStop is getting a little concerned because you know the used games, how they make their money. They may be starting to get a little concerned because they know when this digital thing becomes the norm, then you know people may not necessarily get stuff from them. So let me start by asking you, Charles. What do you think of this particular subject?
Okay, so remember we had a topic where we talked about how somebody did some research on PC gamers waiting for discounts on games, and like, does that hurt developers or publishers or whatever? Why isn't anyone doing research on GameStop trying to give shelf life to a freaking thing that doesn't even have a physical form? And they know that the digital movement will make GameStop so irrelevant, and
Yeah.
that's why it's even happening. Like, how do you even gauge how used my digital freaking game is? I don't understand. Like, how do you go in and trade that in, and they're like, oh well, it doesn't load as fast, so we can't give you this much money for it. Like, how does that even work? Dude, like,
That's a. I was gonna say that's a good question. Um, I mean, I don't know how it would work. Obviously, they must have some type of plan in motion to even bring up this as a discussion.
man, they're playing
Uh,
us to rob you blind. Like, all right, everything that's happened since they announced that they're going to make a credit card has been icing on the cake on them trying to rob people blind. I mean, like, I don't know if the coalition wants to make any kind of advertising deals with GameStop, but I might not be able to write here anymore because I don't support them. I won't support them in the future. I don't even let my friends support them. I was mad when two of my friends were in the freaking midnight release line for Destiny. I was pissed off. Like,
Whoa.
don't.
Hold on a second. Well, hold on a second. Now I have to ask a question since you brought that up. Now, what if GameStop is offering a special
Don't
DLC
care.
for? Oh, well, there you go.
Don't
There you
care.
go.
Like, there is no. You can freaking. Final Fantasy 15 can come out, and the GameStop exclusive is Shenmue 3, and I'm not going to buy it from them.
Yes. Oh,
That is a gaming company that is founded on robbing gamers.
yeah.
Why would I spend my money there?
But one other thing that you have to ask, I'm still trying to figure out, why are the publishers seeing them as the only option for selling their games? Now, I do know that they do use Best Buy, they use several other places.
Best Buy shot themselves in the foot because they could be burying GameStop right now.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
When Xbox had their conference, Best Buy should have spent money and got 100,000% behind them on that because they should have known that would take GameStop's market share and they would tank. But no, I don't know who's making the decisions out there. These guys are idiots. Like, it's just like when Mike was talking about I think he was talking about Final Fantasy VII remake. Like, no. I think he was talking about the 3DS and like how it just prints money, and it's like they're scared of it. It's like it's too much money for them to carry at once, so they just don't do what they need to do. It's like, how did Best Buy not think that they could win this whole thing? Just in one fell swoop, eliminate GameStop. Instead, now we have to deal with them trying to sell us used digital content. Do people even realize how stupid that sounds?
Well, but to just to address the consumer, what consumer will go into a store and buy digital content when they can download that shit right off of their system?
The same idiot with the GameStop credit card. It's all a plan.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
It's all part of their plan, and these guys, man, just let me get my money right and get to a right place. I'm gonna be out in front of a GameStop trying to shut that bad boy down. Like, it's stupid.
Well, what do you think about this topic, Michael?
Personally, I've long said that GameStop is the devil, and I'm not really sure why no one's listening, but they are. That's number one. Number two, it if this move is not an apparent attempt on GameStop's part to continue to steal money from the gaming industry that, in all rights, they don't really deserve because they don't contribute anything to it, I don't know what else to call it. You can sell DLC. You can buy used DLC. Why? The entire point of the push to DLC now was to counter the used games market sale, which was eating away at the money that people who actually make games get. Because instead of people buying games from them, they're buying them from GameStop, and GameStop's giving them none of the money for it. So now you want to do that to their DLC? Why? See, this is why the PC gaming market is going to be better off in the future. They've already adjusted for all of this. People are making more money there. They don't have these issues there. I don't see how people don't get that. I understand you feel it's your game, it's your right to do with it as you please. But even still, you have to take into account that if you like something, you have to support. Buying a game used, you're not supporting that game at all. And it's funny, someone will go buy a copy of a game used. Let's say they go buy Destiny used, and then the servers go down. The first person they email to complain about the servers be down, you're not emailing GameStop to complain. Oh no, no. You're not emailing Joseph Smith, who traded the game in, who's the real reason you have it right now. Oh no. You're emailing, you're tweeting and emailing and Facebook paging Bungie, complaining to them like, why aren't your servers up?
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't buy that game from them, so technically Bungie doesn't owe you anything. They only owe the person who sold you the game something. And if he's not playing anymore, then he has no rights to that anymore. Now you're doing the same thing to DLC. So any DLC that comes out for a game, I can go get it used. Well, so now what? They're gonna come out with DLC for DLC to counter this? Like, this is an endless cycle, and it's like GameStop's making tons of money. They're making tons of money already. Why do you need to do this? What is the benefit to gamers for this? Oh, I could pay $20 for that season pass, or I can get it used for $17.99. Like, what? Like, what? Why do that? I don't see the appeal. I don't see the point. It's really messed up, and I am not for this move at all. And like I said, I could maybe understand how someone says just looking at this alone and not seeing that correlation. But if you look at all the other GameStop news we have, all the other moves they're making or trying to make, I don't see how you can't understand where people are coming from when they call GameStop evil, because it's painfully obvious. That credit card thing they're trying to do, come on, man.
That's right.
Come on, man. Like, nah. And then this, no, I'm good. I don't support them.
I highly doubt that they will get this to work, because I don't see any publisher that would agree to any of these type of deals with GameStop. But we'll see what happens. So for those that are listening and watching, try to, if you're cool with GameStop, be cautious. But in other words, just forget about them altogether, I would say.
You need to stop. Don't be cool with them anymore. Don't be cautious. drop them all completely like a bad habit. Just get up out of there, because you all cool now, but they reaching in your back pocket.
That's right. And I've always said, and I've supported. I very much like Best Buy's Gamers Club. That's why it's unfortunate that a lot of people do not know or use that service, because Best Buy ain't pushing it like they could be.
Yep.
But it is what it is. But yeah, pretty much that concludes all of our topics for this week. I know that there wasn't really quite as much to discuss, because nothing major happened in the news. Just little news tidbits here and there. You guys have any closing thoughts? I guess you can go first, Charles.
Well, I'm glad that you've been watching the Coalition podcast. If you play PlayStation later, it's probably ready for you to go ahead and hit start on the controller. We do have the Throwdown podcast that starts in 20 minutes. So by the time that's over, that button press that you hit should be going through by the time that's over. So thank you for tuning in. We love you. And the Knights of the Turntable podcast, is also a very awesome thing if you need some time between PlayStation Now and later. So just hit us up. We'll be here.
PlayStation Now later sounds like a candy they sell in the hood for some reason. Anyway, yeah. Final words. I would say thanks for supporting the coalition. Thanks for supporting the podcast. Be sure to check out Throw the Throwdown with Tony and the rest of the crew. That's about to act. They're actually about to, yeah, like he said, they're about to start recording that now. So be sure to check that out as well. Check out there's a ton of good quality podcasts on the site, man. So yeah, thanks for supporting the site. Give them all a listen, spread the word, and keep gaming, man. Like actually, like remember, whenever you're on the internet and you've been arguing with someone or other people for over an hour about video games, think about that. That's an hour you could have spent actually playing games. Like I want people to actually go pick up a controller and game. I want people to just play, and even if they're not playing the same games as you or whatever, who cares, man? Like just go have fun. Go focus on actual gaming. We really need more of this to happen because it's not happening enough now. It seems like gaming is focusing on everything but gaming for some reason. So yeah, go have fun.
That's right. I just would like to thank both of you for being on the show. I would like to give a shout out to everybody on the site. It's been doing an excellent job. Thank you, fans, for supporting us. Those of you who listen to the podcast, who leave comments, we appreciate all of that stuff. Definitely give us feedback. And stay tuned because we got some very exciting things coming up in the next couple of months. But until then, keep playing games. Take care of yourself. Live life. We'll talk to you next time. Peace out.